that uses a toilet paper tube that I cut in half. And you'll probably recognize this same kind of mechanism. We did something similar before with just one toilet paper tube. And actually, let me show you that one. This was kind of our first version of it. The toilet paper tube inside this guy makes the eyes blink. So as it turns downward, there's an eyelid that makes it turn downward. And if you haven't made that one before, you can totally use the techniques that we're going to use today to make that one. But, oh, actually, Kimber has one that she made last time. Do you want to show yours off? Yeah, there we go. That's great. So she made the blinking eye one. I know there are some other people who have joined us before. If you want to show off a thing that you have already made too, I think Sigrid's going to go grab one. Awesome. You can certainly make that one if you want, but we're going to make this one here. So I'm going to grab some supplies. If you want to make along with us at home, now I decided to make mine into a bunny rabbit, which it's so funny that y'all were talking about bunnies today. This was totally unintentional. I thought up that question as I said it, but it's so funny that your answers were all bunnies because I thought that making this character look side to side, even before I drew the face and everything, I thought it made it look nervous. So I was thinking, okay, if something's looking side to side like this and it's nervous, what kind of animals might be nervous? And I thought of bunnies as kind of a nervous animal. So as I take it apart, I'm going to take this one apart and we'll make another one together. These are the materials that you should try and grab. So let me first just take off his ears because I'm going to kind of like unmake him from the back. Actually, his ears can stay on. But this is just a regular old like Triscuit box, so a cereal box or any other box. I'm actually going to grab a really sturdy box like this one because it's blank and it's a little less distracting. So first thing you'll need is a box. So you'll need some cardboard. If you want paper like I did to make it a little bit less sort of Triscuity or Lucky Charmsy or whatever it is that you're making it out of, you can cover it in paper. You can do that right now. Go ahead and cover your box in paper if you want. Oh, Sigrid's got her her blinking robot ready. Can you show us yours? Yeah. I actually love that Sigrid also covered her toilet paper tube in tape, so that it actually makes the eyes look shiny too, which I think is really cool. That looks great, Sigrid. Thank you. All right, so you'll need a box and you can cover it in paper now if you want. You'll probably need a marker to draw some stuff on. You'll need a toilet paper tube, so I'm going to untape the top of my box so you can kind of see how this is working. I've got a toilet paper tube and some chopsticks. Those are kind of the main parts of the mechanism. Keep unpeeling this. There we go. Oh no, it fell in. So these are the eyes right here. If I can take them out and we can kind of look at those for a second. Now he's eyeless, which is a little scary. I'll move him up so he's a little less terrifying. Okay, so these are the eyes right here. I cut this toilet paper tube in half, approximately in half. You can see it was not an accurate half by any means. So there's my toilet paper tube cut in, quote, half. And I put a little like plug on the end. I used some hot glue to just plug the end of it with some extra cardboard, poked a chopstick through it, taped it on, and then that's what makes those eyes look side to side like that. So there's your basic design. And I challenge you to take this basic design, and I'm going to make it and go through it right now kind of step by step as well, so you can make along with me. But also, you probably get how it works now, so you can go ahead and just make it if you want. And my challenge for you, whether you're here on Zoom or whether you're at home, is to turn this into, when you think of something looking side to side, what animal does that make you think of? Made me think of a nervous animal, but maybe, especially if you could get yours to go up and down as well, if you can like move the sticks like that. Matt thought of what did you think of, Matt?
Oh, for the...
When the eyes were moving around, you were telling me about an idea.
Oh, yeah. I would have really liked to see a teenager, like an awkward teenager who's rolling their eyes. I thought that would be a lot of fun.
I thought that would be fun, too. So if you can get yours to not just look back and forth, but go like, ugh, ugh, like that would be funny, too. So what would a teenager animal puppet look like? So this is going to be the first part today where I'm going to pick another animal and we'll make another one kind of going through it. And then the second part of the day today is that you guys here on Zoom will get a chance to program my moving eye robot. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to gather my materials because the materials I had were already made into something. So Matt, I'm going to go to you for a second. What is the softest animal you have ever touched, Matt the robot?
The softest animal I've ever touched. Well, I don't have any arms, so it makes it really difficult for me to touch anything at all, as it turns out.
That's very true. I hadn't thought about that. I didn't mean to draw attention. Are you sensitive about not having arms?
I've gotten used to it. I'm 40 years old, which is quite old for a robot.
It's quite old for a robot. Quite young for a person, I'll point out, okay? All right. There we go. Do we have any comments coming in from Facebook or anything yet?
Well, it's been a little bit quiet on Facebook.
All right.
But I do have a question for you guys. If Bunny makes a wonderful moving eye robot because it's got those ears to cover it up, or to cover up those sticks. Can you think of any other animal that might have some feature on top of its head that might allow for those sticks to get covered?
That's a good one. Maybe we can go back to gallery mode, and maybe can we kind of brainstorm together? What is an animal that has something on top of its head that could help cover the sticks that are the sticks are gonna stick out the top? I thought of a bunny, but what other animal could have something coming off the top of its head where you could cover those sticks? What do you guys think? Oh, Christy has an idea. Oh no, who is it? Oh, Sarah. Did Sarah have an idea? Let's see. Oh, I think Christy did. Maybe we can go to Christy. Yeah, what was your idea?
Like a bird that has like a parrot or a peacock, something that has a large head, ornamental head. Yeah.
Something that has some plumage on top.
Yes.
That could be
there
fun.
There you go. That's the word. Yes.
Plumage. I don't know how to spell it, but plumage, yeah. That could be a good one. How about you, Sigrid? What other animal can you think of that has something on its head to cover up the sticks?
A giraffe has ears, but it also has like these two things sticking up.
Yeah, it's got some horns on top. That'd be cool, doing a giraffe that looks side to side, and then the horns kind of have like little like knobs on top of them. Giraffe horns are really, really super funky looking. I like them a lot. How about you, Sophia and Connor? What's your idea about an animal that has something on top of its head to help us cover up the sticks?
Maybe an animal that has like antennas or something.
Ooh, that'd be fun. What kind of animals have antenna?
Like butterflies or ants.
Yeah, you could make a butterfly or an ant. These are super creative. I feel very happy about how my bunny turned out, but I'm getting way better ideas for my second one. I think that's part of engineering too, is like you do something and you're like, I like how that turned out, but I could do this other thing that's even better. My second version always turns out better than my first.
Heather also had an idea that you could put a top hat on top of the robot to cover
That'd
it
be
up.
fun. Yeah, you could put a hat on it. I did that with my little orange box puppet last time. I put a little hat on top of it to cover something that was hidden behind the hat. That's cool. So I've got my box put together now. So now I need to draw out the eyes. That was the first step I did on this one here. Was I cut out the eyes from the paper, and then I cut out the eyes from the box underneath. I don't have paper on this one, so I can just do the eyes. But the tricky thing about this is that you got to make the eyes not so close together that your toilet, it's got to be at least the like width apart of a toilet paper tube. So I'm going to kind of, here's my new toilet paper tube, so I should probably use the new one. So here's my new toilet paper tube, and I'm just going to grab a pencil here really quick. That one doesn't have a point on it. That's useless. Okay, so I'm just going to, with a pencil, something I can erase, kind of draw out how wide, how far apart these eyes are going to need to be. So they're going to need to be at least that far apart, and then at least that far apart. All right, can you guys kind of see those pencil marks if I refocus here a little bit? You guys can kind of see those pencil marks that I drawn there. They're really light. That way I can erase them. But I just drew on there how far apart the eyes are going to need to be so that when I cut my toilet paper tube in half, that it'll be able to go, I'll be able to have two halves of the toilet paper tube next to each other. So now that I know where those need to be, now I can draw my circles for eyes. There's going to be one, and there's going to be the other, like that. And I'll go over it in some marker so y'all can actually see it. So I'm going to draw them out, and then I'm going to cut them out. And we have found here at BirdBrain that sometimes cutting out, poking a hole in the cardboard is sometimes the trickiest part of a maker activity. So here are some good techniques to cut a hole in cardboard. Number one, if you have a blade like this, you can very safely use your blade, and you can cut like so, like that. That's one way to cut a hole. You could also use something that has a point, like a pencil, and you could use that, and I just bopped it with my hand there. You can use that to start a hole that you can then kind of like work your scissors into to make it a little bit bigger. There we go. And then you can get your scissors in there and cut it like so. So there's two different ways to poke a nice hole in a box to get you started to cut out those eye holes. So that's the next thing to do. So we'll work on that. Does anybody, I know Becky has a cat at home, but maybe we can go back to gallery view. Does anybody else have any pets at home that they'd like to share about? They'd like to tell us about their pets a little bit? Heather's like, nope. I have a cat at home as well, and his name is Peter Dinklage, which is also the name of a famous actor. His name was Petey when we got him. He was already kind of like an old man when we got him. He was already like 10 or 11 years old. And we thought that Petey was a good name, but quite informal. And what if our cat ever needed to like meet the queen or something? He would need a formal name to be introduced at court. And so thusly he became a Peter Dinklage. So sometimes when he's being particularly beautiful in the sunlight, we will call him Sir Peter Dinklage, but also we call him Big Thump. Yeah, Sophia and Connor, let's go to you guys.
We have a dog at our house.
Yeah?
We can't get him up here right now, but his name's Remy, and he's a black mutt.
I like that. I like a good muddy dog. Is he a big dog? A little dog?
He's like medium sized. He weighs around like 20 pounds.
Oh, okay. Yeah, not gonna squish you, but could definitely squish a loaf of bread. You know, if you sat on it. It's a good size of dog. And was it Remy or Rammy?
Remy.
Remy. I like that. Like the mouse in Ratatouille.
Mm-hmm.
Was he named after anything in particular or anyone in particular?
We don't think so.
So I just finished.
Real quickly,
Oh, yeah.
Kelsey, sorry, we did have a comment from Facebook. Someone
cool.
was suggesting that you could make a deer as well. That was CJ's suggestion.
Hey,
It was a
nice.
wonderful suggestion.
Good idea, CJ, because you could use the ears of the deer kind of stick out to the sides, but the antlers of the deer could go on top. That's pretty cool. I mean, even with mine right now, I don't really have to decide what it is just yet. So these are all really good ideas. Okay, so I have my eyes. You know what? I'm actually going to turn it around because you probably want the eyes, whenever you've cut out your hole, you want that to be a little closer to the top. Because I actually, in my original version of this one, I had the eyes sticking out the bottom. But I noticed that like my sticks weren't quite long enough to like reach all the way up there. I was really having to like get in there. So I instead had them come up from the top, and it was also, like you guys have figured out, easier to hide it with some ears or antlers or antenna or horns or whatever you've got there. So I just untaped the wrong side of my box. I'm going to tape this back up so that my eyes are going to be closer to the top, and then I'm going to open it back up from the top.
And while you're doing that,
Yeah.
We did have another comment from Facebook. Miriam's grandfather works at a company here in Pittsburgh. So Miriam's grandfather is one of our neighbors.
Hey, Miriam's grandfather. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, isn't it? It's pretty great. So Matt's showing you that's Facebook where some of our comments and stuff are coming in from. So keep them coming. That's pretty cool. I really love that suggestion too, Heather. I just saw you put that in the chat of giving it a hat. There's no reason that animals can't wear hats. Sometimes they like it. Most times, not so much, but maybe yours does. Okay, so I've got the eyes cut out now. Now, I've got the eye holes cut out. If you want to, you can start to draw a face and stuff on, but there's another makery part that we can do next. So I'm going to set this box off to the side, and I'm going to basically write that this is going to be the top up here. It's in pencil, so you can't see it. I should put it in marker, but that's going to be the top, just to remind myself the top is what I'm going to leave open, okay? So I'm going to set that off to the side, because now we need to make the eyes. So to make the eyes, if I look back at my original one here, I cut a toilet paper tube in half, and then I put a little plug on it using some extra cardboard. So that's what you can do next. You can cut a toilet paper tube in half. Don't draw the eyes yet. We're going to wait to draw the eyes until we get it inside the creation. So just cut, so it should look like this, just cut, and then you'll kind of like put it down on a piece of cardboard and trace around it so you can make a little plug. And you could either tape that on, or I use some hot glue and you can glue it on. And then I'll show you how to get the stick in there, okay? So the next step is cut in half, give it a plug on either side, okay? Cool.
And while you're doing that, I
Yeah.
wanted to acknowledge Sigrid's comment. She suggested that we make a narwhal, which would be a very interesting design challenge.
Yeah, I like that idea, Sigrid, to make a narwhal. Now, narwhals are the whales that have one big long horn on the front, right?
That's correct.
Do you know why they have that big horn? Does anybody know why? If we go to gallery view, does anybody know why narwhals have a big long horn on the front of their faces?
No.
No? I was just watching a video about this, and the video that I watched said that it's either for helping them break up the ice, because narwhals live where it's really, really cold, right? They live in like the Antarctic. And so it's to help them like poke with this big horn and break up the ice, or it's for mating displays to be like, hey, look at my awesome horn, kind of like me doing my hair, right? I grow it nice and long because I like it. And narwhals grow their horns nice and long because other narwhals think that's rad. So could be either one of those reasons. Not sure which. If we get a narwhal scientist on here, they should let me know. Okay. So, I'm going to grab...
Maybe we should get a narwhal scientist on here.
You know, I used to know a narwhal... This is a lie. I've never known a narwhal scientist. I was about to make up a story, and I'm not going to do that. But if you know any narwhal scientists, I want to talk to them for a bunch of reasons. Number one, to ask them about the narwhal horn, and number two, because I want to just ask them about their lives and how they became what they are. Okay, so now I've cut my toilet paper tube in half, and I'm going to use my marker to trace around the outside of it, like so. And it doesn't have to be a pretty tracing. Nobody's going to see it. This is going to be a hidden part of your project. I like to know what people are going to see and what they're not going to see in my project, so I know what I need to be like careful on. Not this part. Okay. So a good way to cut a circle, cutting circles with scissors can be hard, but if you haven't done it before, you can kind of like cut a square out around your circle, and I'm going to cut it a good deal outside of that black line because I definitely need it to be bigger. So I've cut a very bad square, but then I'm going to go through and I'm going to cut each of the corners off, getting closer and closer to the circle every time. And then I'm going to keep cutting the circles off to get it closer and closer to a circle. I like it. And you're going to do that for both of your cardboard circles there. Go. Cut this one around. Has anybody decided what animal theirs is going to be yet? We've had some good suggestions. I don't know what mine's going to be yet. I'm not forced to decide yet, so I'm not deciding yet. But how about you guys? If we go back to gallery view, does anybody have an idea like, yep, I'm going to do this animal? Does anybody know what they're going to make theirs yet? Sigrid knows. What are you going to make yours into, Sigrid?
I'm gonna make mine into a giraffe.
That's great. I like that. Cool. Speaking of narwhals, how do you feel about narwhals, Matt?
Well, I love narwhals, and I think the animal that I'm going to make is going to be a narwhal.
That's a great narwhal costume you have there, Matt. That's pretty nice.
Thank you very much.
Do you is that for special occasions? Is that just for when you're feeling yourself in quarantine?
No, this is just my going out narwhal horn.
Ah, that's your going out narwhal horn. I like that. It's your fancy dress party narwhal horn.
That's right, for special occasions.
Special occasions, good. This is why Matt and I have a good time. He just breaks out his special occasions narwhal horn, which is just very kind. Very good thing to do. All right, I'm gonna clean up my work area. It's important to keep your workspace clear. There we go. Okay, so now I've got my toilet paper tubes. I've got my caps ready to go, and you can either, I'll scooch things out of the way, you can either hot glue on there, so I'll show you what it'll look like if I hot glue a little bit. Bring this over here. I'm just gonna throw this over so I don't get hot glue on my table here. So you might hot glue right around the edge there, not get it on your finger because it's not medium glue. No, it's hot glue. Okay, so I might do that. And I want to get the side that I cut and leave the side that I cut like out, because I want the nice like factory cut side that's actually flat to be down so that it's actually gonna stick up straight. So if you've got hot glue, you can hot glue it on. Or if you've got some tape, here's my tape, you can also tape it on real easy. And again, it doesn't have to be super pretty, your tape job, because nobody's going to see it. You just want to make sure it doesn't go down too far so that you have space to draw your pupil when it comes on. So just little pieces of tape, maybe 4 or 5 times around. You don't want to make them too wide because they'll have a hard time sticking on. Here's some tape. Tape it around the bottom.
And Kelsey.
Yeah.
Our friend Tanya let us know on Facebook that she's attempting a lion right
Ooh.
now, which I think is pretty cool because we were working on a lion project last week.
That's true. That's true. Tanya was in one of our classes last week. Hi, Tanya. I'm glad you're here. This is great. And so she's going to make a lion that's looking back and forth. That sounds fun. Thanks for sharing, Tanya. We've got a lion. We've got a giraffe. I like how nervous my other one looked. I'm deciding whether or not I want to make a nervous robot or if I want to make something else. Because if I make a nervous one, I think I could do a mouse, and the mouse could have like really big, like mouse ears. I also bet that mice are soft, but I don't know. Okay, so you could have either hot glued this on, or you could have taped it on, like so. Cool. Now, we got to get the control rod. That's the fancy way to say chopstick or knitting needle or pencil or a skinny thing that we're going to twist back and forth to make the eye turn. We've got to get that to stick through a little bit. So I'm going to grab my cutting mat so that I don't cut my nice pretty wood. There we go. And I'm going to just make a little incision in the very center of my plug that I've put on the end of the eye there. So I'm going to make a little zoop, like so. Put that away. So I've got 2 little itty bitty cuts in there. And then, you guys have seen a chopstick. So I'm going to do it with a pencil instead. So I'm going to start with a pencil that has a point to just kind of get it to go through there. Like so. There we go. And now I'm going to stick this pencil through like so. There we go. So
and
if you
Kelsey,
just, oh yeah.
As you're finishing that up, we had a question from online. Someone was wondering if a pipe cleaner would work.
A pipe cleaner would probably be too bendy. You're going to need something hard because like a pipe cleaner will kind of wiggle around too much on you. You'll want something kind of long and skinny and hard. So a knitting needle, a chopstick, a pencil. You'll need it to be enough so that when you turn it like this and when it's got a little bit of weight on it, that it won't bend on you. Looks like we had a question too. Yeah, Sigrid, what's your question?
You can also use a skewer.
A skewer is a good one too. Yeah, Sigrid for some reason always has wooden skewers around, and so she's she's representing the skewer community here on our class. So you could also use yeah, this is just a metal version of that, so a knitting needle could work too. So I'll set that off to the side. So once you've got it poked through there, though, you want to make it so that this rod, whatever it is, pencil, chopstick, whatever, and your eye turn together so that when you turn the rod in the middle, that the eye turns with it. So we're going to tape your rod onto the eyeball here. You could hot glue it, but I actually think tape works better in this respect. So I'm going to put tape down along the flat part and then up the side of my rod, whatever it is. And again, nobody's going to see this part, so it doesn't have to be pretty. And then I'm going to flip it over, and now there's this sticky side here. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go along the flat part of the eye and then up the rod, and then I can pinch these two side bits together and kind of fold over any sticky stuff that's poking out. And there we go. Now that definitely won't move, even if it's bumped. The rod and the eyeball are one. They are together. So I'm going to do the same thing to my other eyeball.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And as you're doing that, Kelsey, I was wondering if Tanya would be so kind to check in on Facebook and let us know how her lion is going.
Yeah, we'd love to hear about it, Tanya. Are you on to the eyes yet? Are you making the eyeballs? What are you using for your rod? Let me ask you guys here on Zoom, what are you using for the rod going through the center? I know Sigurd's using a skewer. What else are you guys using? How about you, Sophia and Connor?
We're using a wooden skewer too.
You're using a wooden skewer too? Good call. What else? What are other people using? What are you using, Heather? Oh, you don't have, yeah. You don't have those yet. How about you, Christy? What are you using for your center rod there?
Plastic straw.
Plastic straw. That's a good one. Totally. Totally. How about you, Kimber? What are you using? Oh, you're muted. We got to unmute you so we can hear you.
Knitting needles.
Knitting needle. That's a solid choice. You were telling us before we started about how you learned to knit. You knit a bookmark and then you forgot how to knit, which is, I think, probably what happens to a lot of people who learn how to knit. Hey, those are looking good. Those are looking great. Okay. Sigrid got excited. She just commented. She said, there are more people in the skewer club. Oh, yeah. That's great. Okay. So now, these look super messy right now, but that's okay. You're not going to see any of this stuff up here. You're only going to see the pupils once we draw them. So, now, it's time for me to bring back my eyes here. We're doing great on time because we are almost done with this part. So, open up the head like so. Now, I can put my newly formed eyes in there. There we go. And that's what we're going to see, right? So we're going to see something like this. And now I'm going to take one out so I can have my hand back. Now I can draw the pupil. You don't want it to be too big because then it won't have much room to move. So I drew the pupil with a pencil. And I'm going to go back in and make it a little bit darker. And then I'm going to go back in and do it with marker. Hey, those things rhyme.
So as you're doing that, Kelsey, we got an update from Tanya.
Okay.
She says not only is she making a lion with moving eyes, but she is also making a bird that is sitting on top of the lion with moving eyes. So it is taking some time.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So you're making a lion with moving eyes and a bird sitting on top of its head. That's something that we hadn't thought of. We thought of a hat sitting on top of its head, but you could have another object sitting on top of your animal's head. So when I draw a pupil, what I like to do, is I like to color it almost all the way in, but not quite all the way in. I'll focus this up so it's a little clearer. There we go. I like to leave a little bit of white, or in this case brown space, kind of in one of like the corners of the eye, like this, and then I'll color everything else in around it. And if you don't have clear tape, clear tape was a really cool thing that I think Kimber did to make it look like her eyes were shiny. This can kind of make your eyes look shiny as well. So now I'm going to draw a pupil of the same size on this other one. And if they're not quite the same size, hey, you can always make them bigger. You can always make the tiny one bigger. This becomes like if you're a person who has ever tried to do winged eyeliner, this becomes the winged eyeliner problem, where you get one great and then the other one goes out a little further, and so then you make this one go out further and then that one has to go, and suddenly you're Amy Winehouse, and that's a look for special occasions only. So if you start drawing one eye and you make the other one bigger, just know you could end up Amy Winehousing it. All right. So we're almost on to the last step here. I've drawn my pupils. I can put them in like so. Oh, look at there. It's starting to look around a little bit. He's looking a little crazy because right now there's like too much room for my hands to move around. You can see on that front shot, there's too much room to move around. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm actually going to cut off a couple of flaps here because I don't need all these flaps. They're just kind of getting in the way. So I'm going to cut off a couple of these flaps, and then I'm going to poke holes in the top of it for my pencils to go through so that it'll help to stabilize it a little bit so they don't end up like flopping around. So I'm going to cut opposite flaps of my box off. Now on my original one, since I was using a Triscuit box, just to show you kind of what that one looked like, the way that I got the skewers, I'll put my blade away, the way that I got the skewers to stay put in there, because they were a little skinnier, was the box, this one kind of already had these great little flaps on top, so I just made those flaps a little bit bigger and then kind of did like that, and then I taped it closed. So that's basically what we're trying to do here, is you want to make a hole for this to turn in, and that hole will help to stabilize it. So this box was great because it already kind of had some little holes, and I cut it down a little bit. There we go. I'm going to cut off some opposite flaps just to get them out of the way. My flaps are getting in the way here. Don't want your flaps to get in the way. Okay. I'm actually going to use scissors for that.
So just checking in, Kelsey, you're cutting off the flaps of the cardboard.
Yeah, I'm not cutting off all of them. I'm only cutting off the two opposite ones because there's just kind of too much going on the top of my box. So I'm just cutting off two opposite flaps so that there's kind of less stuff getting in the way. There we go. So now, those two flaps meet in the middle, and they'll close up my box. And now I'm actually going to poke holes probably up near the front of the box here. So I need to figure out about how far in my hole needs to go. So it looks like it needs to go right about, I'm going to make a little, I'm like measuring to make sure that this is as close as it can be to the front of the box while not like sticking out, because it's got to all fit inside. So it looks like, and I'm also going to center it on the eye hole here too. And I'm just going to eyeball it. Get it? I'm eyeballing it because I'm making it. Thanks, Kimber. Kimber's my laugh track. This is great. Okay, so I'm getting it kind of centered, moving it back a little bit, like so. I'm going to make a little...
And speaking of eyeballs, Tanya has a suggestion online. She says if you use clear nail polish, you can make the eyes look a little bit more glossy.
Ooh, that's a fun idea too, using some clear nail polish. We're just going to use whatever we've got at our disposal. That's a great idea. So Kimber's idea was to use some clear tape, and Tanya's idea was to use some clear nail polish, which is that's a great suggestion too. Okay, so now I'm just cutting little X's in the top there. I'm actually probably going to use my knitting needle to start out the hole. And then, there we go. Make it a little bigger. Probably use my sharpened pencil to finish getting it through there. Now I want these to be able to move kind of freely, so I'm going to kind of move my implement around so that I can kind of widen that hole a little bit. There we go. There we go. Okay. So now it's time. I'm going to put it in from the bottom. I'm going to put this one in from the bottom. There we go. And now, as I've put that flap down, these should start to line up. Ha ha ha, look at there. And now it's going to look from side to side. All right, I better tape that top flap down so that it doesn't go anywhere. And Matt had made this suggestion when we were designing this project earlier too. I'm a little worried that these pencils are just going to fall all the way through. So you might put a little like doobop on them. That's not a specific term, but you might put a little like a bit of tape or something like that to stop them from falling through. I need some more tape.
Well, I think that's very cool. Eyes that look side to side are very exciting to me.
Why are they so exciting, Matt?
My eye movement is a little bit limited.
Ah, I see. So you're very good at blinking, but you can sneak up on you from the side pretty easy.
Pretty easily.
All right.
And it looks like we've got a question from Kimber.
Oh yeah, what's your question, Kimber?
So it's not a question, but like, so I know you said the pencils might fall through.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they like got the knitting needles. They have like a wooden piece at the end, so they don't fall all the way through.
That's a good idea. So my pencils have these erasers, but the erasers are the same width as the pencil. So Kimber was saying that she's using a knitting needle that's different. Yeah, good. Show us that. We can see it. So that's great. Look at the eyelashes.
And the eyes. Yeah.
That's awesome, Kimber. That looks so good. That looks so good. Well, now I've got to finish decorating mine, but I'm actually not going to finish decorating it here because I want to get on to some remote coding. I want you guys to code my fish. So my job after I'm done here today is to finish this project. And if you haven't finished yours, finish yours as well. And you should share it with us on Facebook, on all the different places. Here we go. I've got my cardboard bits. You should share it with us on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram. You can tag BirdBrain Tech or Hummingbird Kit. You can tag me if you want to. But if you finish yours after we're done today, and I'm going to finish mine probably tonight, I can't wait to post about it on Twitter and tag everybody on there so that we can all see what you did. It would be awesome. I think I have a little cardboard flap for Robot Petting Zoo too, but I don't know where I put it. You guys, I'm awash in cardboard flaps here, so I'm going to just make a new one. Because for Robot Petting Zoo, you can also do hashtag RPZ for Robot Petting Zoo, or you can spell it out as well. Robot Petting Zoo. So you can put that on any of those social media things too, so that as you finish your project, you can tag BirdBrain, you can tag Robot Petting Zoo, and we can see what you did. That would be awesome.
And as folks are finishing up, we did get a suggestion from Adrienne, who was saying that you can use eraser caps as little stoppers if you have pencils that you're worried they're going to slide out of your box. Eraser caps would work quite well.
That is a really cool idea. I like that. That would keep it from sliding out of the box and sliding into the box, I suppose.
That's
so
great.
I'm going to switch something about this fish right now. This fish we had already programmed it in MakeCode, which is a really cool programming language where when you're done programming it, you can download the code onto it. But I'm going to put this fish into Bluetooth mode really quick. So while I'm doing that, oh, it looks like Sigurd has a quick question. Can we go spotlight Sigurd real quick?
You bet. Hi, Sigrid.
Yeah, it's not a question, but what I did on top of the skewers, I put another piece of skewer so it doesn't slide down.
Oh,
I see.
that is very clever. So did you use tape for that, or did you use hot glue?
Yeah, just tape.
Very cool. Excellent. So you cut a second skewer in half? Is that how you did that?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
That's cool. That'll stop it from falling through. That's awesome. Has anybody else got their project at a point at which we can take a look at it? Let's see. Our Zoom window went away for a second. We'll be right back. There we are. It looks like Kimber's got one she'd like to show off.
All right. Very cool.
Yeah, that's looking great. And Matt,
Excellent.
can you help me put, oh, this one's already in Bluetooth mode. Got it.
Wonderful. And let's see, it looks like Tina.
That's
looks
looking
like
great.
Tina's is complete.
Let's take a look at yours, Tina. Oh my gosh! There we go.
Excellent.
It's hard to hold it because I was putting mine flat down on the table. Oh my gosh, that looks great, Tina.
Oh.
Let's take a look at yours, Heather. Ooh, I like how you designed those eyes. They look great. They look really, really good. Those look awesome, you guys. How about yours, Christy? Oh, look. Oh my gosh, it's a pig with a hat. Ah! Christy, I'm dying. That's so great. I love it. Guys, you guys are so creative. I'm going to be inspired by all of your ideas later when I'm finishing mine. Hats and all your eyelashes. I love all the eyelashes, you guys. These are so cute. They have so much personality.
Oh, it looks like Kimber has a hat.
Oh,
as
Kimber,
well.
do you... What is this hat that you've made? It's so funny. It's like a little... Oh, there you go. Very nice. So it looks like a bowler hat, kind of. That's great. That's awesome, you guys. These are looking fantabulous. I'd love to. I'm going to clear off my space just a little bit. I love what a phenomenal mess I make every time I do these these glasses. If you didn't make a giant mess, did you even really make a project? I don't think so. But let me clear it off just a little bit because I want to put this fish front and center here. There we go. Because this fish is what you guys are going to have a chance to program. Now I've just turned it on and it's not programmed yet. It's not doing anything yet because you guys haven't had a crack at it. So you guys should have received some code in your email, and what you'll need to do is you'll need to resize your windows, kind of like I've done here. I have a shortcut to do it, but you'll want to resize your windows so that you can see the Zoom window and also you can see your code. So you'll want to click on those links. And there's 4 different ones that we sent out. One of them controls the little dingle bopper on our anglerfish. One of them controls the eyes. One of them controls the mouth. And then the very last one controls all 3 things. So that's why there are 4 different codes. So you can open up any one of those that you want. And when you have it opened up, we'll go back to gallery view. You can raise your hand. Again, you'll need to resize your windows and stuff so that you've got Zoom and that you've got your code as well. Looks like Kimber might have hers ready to go. You want to try it, Kimber? Okay, so we're going to spotlight ourselves so that you can see us. And make sure you're unmuted so we can hear you. You are, okay. And then hit the C key on your keyboard to connect. We're connected. All right. Ooh, whoa. Nice. We've got some mouth moving. Very good. Oh, you've got the eye blinking on and off here, and you've got the eyes blinking. So tell me about the code. What are you running? What does it look like?
Well, it's kind of small because I have it like that.
Yeah. So it looks like there's probably like different things like when you press the space key or the arrow key or stuff like that. Do you know what some of those codes are?
Space key does the mouth and makes it blink.
Okay. And then what else?
The up arrow will turn on the light, and the down arrow will turn off the light.
Very cool. And then we're going to I want to take a look at that really quick. I'm going to do this one so we can kind of see this guy from the front here. All right. So we can see this code, and Matt, could you help us zoom in on those blocks a little bit so that we can take a look at them? So if you want to do that too, Sigrid, you can. If you go up to that little like settings thing, you can play around with the slider bar. If you scooch that over to the left a little bit, we can see it a little better, Matt. But you can like play around with that slider bar, and then you can make the blocks a little bit bigger to see. But the space key is controlling both the position servos 1 and 2. We're going to kind of resize these so you can see them a little bit better. So looks like 1 is the one that's controlling the mouth. So will you press the space bar again? Yeah, so that space bar, it gets the mouth moving, and it does that 5 times. It's got a repeat 5 times loop. So you could change that, or you could make it go a little faster. If you changed the weight blocks in there, you could make it go a little faster. Do you want to try that? What's a number that's less than 1?
Let's see.
I love the concentrated face when we're coding.
Okay. Now.
All right, let's try it out. What did you change? Oh, I see you made the mouth move faster. So you must have put a smaller number in the weight block there. What number did you put in there?
I just added a decimal.
Ooh, what decimal?
It's now 0.1.
0.1. That's very fast. That's good. Really quick.
Okay.
That's normally if you were doing this at home, you could really get it to go like 0.1. It's pretty cool. But since we're like bouncing your code off of a satellite and then coming here live, we can do about every half a second. That'll be about the quickest it can go. That's pretty cool though. And then if we look at the eyes, see how the eyes are blinking? The position servo 2, it says wait 0.2 seconds, and then it's got this pick random 3 to 10 seconds. What do you think that's doing? What is that picking random number doing, Kimber? What do you think?
It's determining how long you should blink.
Ah, yeah. So it's like how, right. That was a good demonstration. This is a solid blink, ma'am. So yeah, it's like determining the eyes are not blinking constantly every 1 second. They're blinking every 3 seconds or every 4 seconds or 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 or 10. So that's what it's doing. If you take that random block out of there and just let it be 1, let's see how that changes the code. So if you take the random block out, yep, and then you type the number 1 in there, there we go. That's what it does. It just blinks constantly every 1 second. Yeah. He's going crazy. This is great. And then if you put that random block back in, then it'll pick, every 3 to 10 seconds or whatever. That's great. Hey, let us go back to gallery view for a second. Let's give Kimber a round of applause for some great coding. That is awesome. And just to let you guys know, we had today's webinar. We've got another one on Thursday where we're going to be making our tiny drummer character and showing some cool modifications for that so that you can just make something without robotics if you want to, but then we'll get to code some tiny drummers. And then also on Friday at 2 o'clock, we have these same webinars, but they're a little different because they're focused on teachers. So this Friday's webinar is actually going to focus on this remote coding thing, and we're going to show you if you're a teacher who has a Hummingbird at home, and you, we got a mad face, that's good. If you're a teacher who has a Hummingbird at home, or if you can go grab one from your school, if you can sneak in, and you want to set up some remote coding for your kids to do so that you could like Zoom chat with them just like we are so that your kids could code a robot at your house, we're going to talk about that on Friday. And actually Dr. Tom Lowers, who's the CEO of BirdBrain and who helped us figure this out, he figured out how to do this whole remote coding thing, he's going to be on Friday and he's going to help talk us through that. So if you want to set this system up for yourself and your kids, definitely tune in on Friday at 2. The only thing you have to do to be part of the Zoom class is register. And you'll go to, I have a handy dandy piece of cardboard for this, birdbraintechnologies.com/robotics@home. So you can find all of our upcoming live classes there. You can also find some cool video series we've done about moving masterpieces and robot petting zoo and all kinds of fun projects like that. And then you can also, there are some courses there as well. So if you want to learn how to use your Hummingbird at your own pace while you're at home, there are free courses there as well that are geared towards students, parents, and teachers. It kind of serves all three different groups. So you can find all that at this website here. If I can get underneath my mess. Like I said before, we'd love to see what you made. So definitely tag us on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. You can tag me. I'm just on Twitter, so I just put that in a Twitter color. But then also, hummingbirds are not just for schools. You might be some of the teachers here, you might have them at school, but they might be locked in your school a little bit. You can also just purchase like one hummingbird to have at home. So I know Kimber just got a hummingbird and Sigrid just got one as well, so that they can actually do their own robots at home. So you can also find how to purchase them all at that site there. But that really kind of wraps things up here for us. What I'll do now is we'll stop going live on Facebook, but if there's anybody here that's on the Zoom call, if you have any other questions or anything, feel free to hang out and ask any questions that you guys might have. But thank you all so much for joining us today, whether you were here on Zoom or out there on Facebook. From me and Narwhal Matt.
Thank you so much. Thank you for all of your comments online.
And great making today, everybody. I loved seeing what you guys came up with. Thanks so much, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We can't wait to see what you make on social media. On Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, you can tag @BirdBrainTech or #HummingbirdKit, or you can even tag me. If you have any questions, be sure to email us, info@birdbraintechnologies.com. We can answer questions about purchasing, about learning, about teaching, and about professional development. If you haven't been there yet, be sure to visit our Robotics at Home page. There you can purchase a kit for yourself, learn how to use it, and even join one of our upcoming webinars. Until we see you in class, thanks for watching from everyone at BirdBrain Technologies.